Father, I pray for all those who sacrificed on this day so needlessly. I pray that one day this country will unite like it did after that event. And I pray for all those who have given their lives for the sake of freedom ever since and fought the evil tyranny that started this whole thing.
I am a diehard Christian, and I honestly believe what I've learned, Islam is the religion of Satan. And when it comes down to the final battle, I believe that's exactly what it's going to be. A battle between Christ and his followers, or his army, against Satan and his army. And I believe on earth, where he's got the reign, that Islam is his religion.
Can you tell us, I know you support the group here today, the ride today. Why did you come personally?
Because this is probably the biggest event that I've ever been a part of. If you see these yellow ribbons, this is for a ride that leaves here to the Pentagon every year for Rolling Thunder, which is to make the government accountable for the POWs MIA, so it's probably the biggest ride on the East Coast. This ride is even bigger than that, because that's for one cause. This ride is for our country, which was founded under Judeo-Christian principles, and our God. And as a Jesus-believing Christian, I believe everything in this country was founded under, and I think 99% of our problems are because we've gotten away from God in this country.
Please be with them and comfort them, especially the children that have to live without their fathers, their mothers, those who lost brothers and sisters and wives and husbands. It was a tragic day for this country, Father. But this is what this ride is all about. To honor those who gave their lives on this day, September 11th, 2001.
And I know the liberal media probably will turn this around and make the bikers look bad and say that we're down there because the Muslims are there or whatever. That may have sparked this initially, but it's all about, if you know anything about Islam, why did they pick this day to do their particular march or whatever they want to call it? They wanted to build a mosque at Ground Zero on 9/11 after that initial attack, right? Islam is notorious for building mosques when they conquer something. They're not down there to try and get us to like them. They're down there to celebrate what they did 12 years ago on this day. That's what they're doing. They disguise it so that they're not looked at as bad people. Because the Quran says if they're allowed to lie, if it benefits Islam. And they're going to deceive everybody else, and even Muhammad that they base their religion on is a great deceiver himself, and it states that in the Quran.
I pray that your hand of mercy is upon us, that all the survivors of the loved ones they've lost, that you lessen their grief, because today brings it all back, just as if it happened a minute ago.
So when they say that they're a peaceful religion, that's all garbage. Until they conquer the world, that's when they will have peace, when everybody is a Muslim. But it's not about them. Today, all of us true patriotic Americans, on just a notice of spreading the word through modern day media via Facebook, Twitter, or whatever it may have been, got together. We have no permit. Our Muslim president, and I'll repeat that, our Muslim president will give them Muslims a permit, but won't give any of us bikers to counter that action. And I won't say protest, but won't counter that. Now, when Cindy Sheehan came up here against President Bush, we had the gathering of the Eagles, and we all had permits. We outnumbered her 5-10 to 1. But with the Muslim president, he's not going to let Eric Holder or the Department of Justice allow any of us to counteract that Muslim action. But we're going to do it anyway, and we're going to do it lawfully. But it's not about them, really.
Here at the Pentagon Memorial, I stand today But I pray for all those that lost their lives on that day in New York, Pennsylvania, and here in Virginia at the Pentagon. And all those who have lost their lives sacrificing after the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq to help fight this evil intention of the spreading of Muslim and Islam. Please be with the survivors, Father. It's not about Islam or anything else. Today's ride is to commemorate the memory of all those who sacrificed so needlessly on that day and since because of what happened on that day, and to bring you, Father, back into this country and try to influence our leaders to return this country back to the Judeo-Christian principles in which it was founded under. Please be with us. Don't destroy this country, Father. Just destroy the evil. In Jesus' precious name I pray. Amen.
It's about remembering and never forgetting one of the worst attacks on this country in at least our lifetime, and only equates to me, and I wasn't around, but during Pearl Harbor. And it's about all those who lost their lives so needlessly on that day, and all of us, and I'm one of them, that have had to serve just because of that particular act in Afghanistan or Iraq or any number of undercover operations like getting Osama bin Laden with SEAL Team 6. It's about honoring them and honoring America and honoring our God that this country was founded on, and trying to get back to those principles.
This is what that ride is for today. To honor each and every one of these lives. But we never forget that day. These benches seem to go on forever, just as the memory of that day will. Every single bench is a precious life. Even children were killed that day here. Innocent of all, the children. But everybody that died that day was innocent. We in the military, we know things like this can happen. But civilians, especially children, had no clue of the evil that was about to happen that day. May God forgive those who did this, although they're probably in hell. But may He never let us forget what happened here in New York and in Pennsylvania that day. May God rest each and every soul that these benches represent. I ask this in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
And that's what the sticker on your chest represents today, isn't it? George John Bishop, the bishop?
He's one of the people that had lost their life. I don't know exactly, without researching it, where he lost his life and which attack. But everybody that signs the waiver is getting at least one name tag, and I plan to go back over there. If they don't have all of them given out, I'm going to get as many as I can. And it's all about honoring those who have sacrificed, and George Bishop is one of them. And I believe he was in Flight 93, because I've been to that memorial. I've been to all three of them, actually. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe I ran across his name on that Flight 93. Now, don't quote me on that, but I remember the name Bishop. Now, whether it was George or not, I can't remember.
Well, it's nice that you're here representing, and we're thank you for the interview.
May that Stars and Stripes forever wave freely. May we never forget what this country was founded under. Judeo-Christian principles. And it's because we got away from God so much that this country has went downhill morally. To me, it explains why there's so much crime in this country. Senseless crime. People shooting up innocent children in schools. Because we took God out of everything. Yet our country was founded on that very basic principle of God's truth. It's where our laws come from in the Ten Commandments. Yet we tried to pretend like it was man that developed all of that. And the Bible clearly states the further we get away from God, the worse the country's destruction will be. I pray that evil is eradicated in this country before this country is destroyed. I ask that in Jesus' name. As I sit here and reflect, looking at that Stars and Stripes, which represent the blood of every human, male, woman, child, that is sacrificed for that freedom that that flag represents. That's the thoughts that go through my mind as I sit here on one of these benches